Hello and welcome to episode 7 of PLAASENG. On this episode, we hang out with another good friend of ours, Bjorn Devereux, also known as Lakavan. Have you ever wondered why the farming community is so divided? By race, by culture, and yet we share the same objectives and we face similar challenges. That led me to ask if we could be the generation of farmers who find common ground despite all our differences and make agriculture great.
What to expect. So from what I've seen, like my friends go to America and it's quite clever. So they get $14-15 an hour times 14 rand for 9 months. Then they come back with that capital and start their own thing. So I think
On. How's it?
good.
You're good. There's this one question, like, let me not start by that question, right? Let me start with something else. I wanted to talk, like, I have a lot of white friends, you know, that I grew up with, like people that I consider my brothers. But I feel like we at a situation like in the country generally, and this is going to lead us into agriculture, but I just want us to get this out of the way. It's almost like there's things that I can say as a black guy and get away with, but I feel like you guys are afraid. If you guys say something, it's almost like you're racist. Even if you point, like for example, the state that the college is in now, if you were to go on Facebook and say the college is shit, management is not doing what they're supposed to do, they're almost going to look at you like you're racist because it's black management. Do you guys feel that way, that you can't really express yourselves because we jump onto you, or it is seemed as whatever you're saying is racist without even thinking about what the person has actually said?
I think society at the moment, with the whole, I don't know if you saw the article of CNN, where the director of news or whatever, what that guy was part of, he admitted to fueling the confrontation of the Black Lives Matter movement and the police. So he said in that in the whole, they caught him on video.
Oh, so he was not intentionally doing it on record, but they...
Yeah, so they caught him. So he basically said there, if it was a black on black murder, he won't do anything about it.
That's not newsworthy.
It's not worthy. But if it was black on white, they would, what's the word? They would fuel it. Yeah. Just say anything. And I think at the moment, I think this is the we're living in times where for example, I will say I like my group of activities, and then if someone, no, that's not a good example. Say culture. Yeah. Say Afrikaans at the university. Net an easy example. It's automatically racist because it associates with white.
But it's just your preference.
It is your preference. But if you had to say something, you first get labelled what you said as that. So I think at the moment you have to watch out what you say, because I can say anything on the podcast and give an example, but then someone can just use that little bit, and then no one watches the whole thing.
And they take just that little bit and put it on Twitter, and the next thing you are trending. The news wants you.
Yeah.
But because personally, I genuinely feel like, yeah, it has been a problem, or something that I've noticed, because I've watched a few podcasts, especially the Black Lives Matter thing. There's this African American police guy that put it in perspective to me, like, we get away with so much nonsense that we say, but if the opposite race was to say it, and then it's hell. But I just wanted to get that out of the way, that you can say whatever you want to say. And so here's the question that I wanted to ask, right? Like, I feel like it's almost, do you feel like us black people entering into agriculture, we're stealing the culture, you guys' culture? Like, what do you think if a black guy is dressed in, the classic Afrikaaner look, fellies, socks?
Like Beast.
Who's Beast?
He was mostly the prop.
Oh, Giga.
And what's his other name? Tabu.
Tabang.
Yeah.
So what do you think when you see that? Like, don't you think like we invading, or
no?
You guys are chilled.
I think the older generation, where they grew up in, say, 50s, 60s, they grew up in that generation. I didn't.
Yeah.
For my generation and younger, I don't really care
about such.
No, I think the big problem with the invading is when we feel you just been given something
that you didn't earn.
And I think that brings the bad perspective over to us, where we then generalize that he doesn't deserve it. And actually, maybe that
guy in
that
particular
one does, but maybe that one didn't. But they put a bad picture over the years, and I think that clashes with. But personally, I don't really.
You don't have.
No.
But it was really because I have this student on the farm that I'm mentoring, right? And the other day we were talking about image and how a farmer is supposed to look and stuff like that. And he was like, dude, I have like fellies and I have a shirt and but I'm almost too afraid to wear it, because maybe it has a different meaning to the Afrikaners. Like, that is a particular outfit that means something and we don't understand it, and we just assume that, fuck. So I thought that maybe there's something.
Yeah, I think when I saw Beast with his khaki clothes, I think well done.
He looks decent.
Cut. Come.
It
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't.
No, I think we actually never had a discussion over
Such.
that if black people had to wear khaki clothes.
But it was almost like.
I think we would think this is a fancy one.
He knows a thing or two.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it will be.
It's just a general thought, and because I know a lot of black folks ask the same question, or it's a thing amongst the black community or the black farmers, that why are you guys trying to dress like white farmers? Why are you not coming up with your own
Isn't
image?
that like the same with you get your white wedding and then you get the black wedding?
Traditional
then
wedding.
I think the traditional one. I think don't they look a bit down on you if you decide to do the white wedding?
No. In actual fact,
It's the opposite.
it's the opposite. The opposite. They like the black community, like, doing the traditional wedding is just formality. The main wedding is the white wedding. With the white gown, like.
Yeah.
And so it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to find out, because it was a kind of a topic, or it is a topic amongst the black farming community and whatever not.
I think they should try it and see what happens. I don't know. I don't think it'll be.
But a lot of people like it. I must say, it's not a negative thing, but it's just a discussion that is happening. Not that
I just
everything...
know with experience, your legs get the shit out of you. Bossies crap kak out of you.
Oh, you get burned.
Yeah, so you get battle wounds here by 40. I know when I walk in the field and the workers like, yeah, you want to wear shorts.
Get your battle scars.
Yeah.
Then we'll dive into other questions that I have. But tell us a little bit about yourself. So what do you do now? Where do you work? What do you work with?
I was a star student at the college.
A star student.
Yeah.
You were one of us, the star students.
So I think when I got my diploma, everyone high-fived me and said, "Yo, finished." It's like, yeah. So when I was 2016, my boss came to the college. He said she wants a young Okie that's less for the farm, and so I done my practical there, and she gave me a permanent contract. Yeah. Hey, there's lots of lady farmers around us. Yeah, there's 4. One lady that does everything, planting sheep and cattle, then one sheep, cattle and boilers, and then it's 3. So I was also like,
Okay.
They didn't know you guys exist. But very impressed with what they're doing. They're actually quite put the stick it to the man.
Yeah, they're actually decent farmers.
Very good. So I'm there now 5 years.
You've been there for 5 years now. And you're lekker, you work in lekker.
Yeah, I thought Ventersdorp was a dry area, but this is rainy. So so I put my think I'll get old here to stop caring a little bit less here.
Do you guys still go to build?
Yeah.
Just the guys still go to Durban?
Yeah, Durban, yeah, but not the build. It's
anymore.
Rough there.
Is it?
Too old.
And you guys are getting old.
Yeah,
you're getting old.
No,
These young guys are coming
the
up.
first year called me this year's like, So I'm finished now. No, I told them I don't want to be their friends.
All right, no, that is awesome. And you guys farm with millies,
cattle, sheep.
So it's a mixed operation.
Yes. So everything, basically what the Landbou College does, we don't do the dairy because you won't have a life.
No. Malanda, you remember Malanda? Malanda. Malanda.
Fullback.
He played fullback. Now, towards the end, he was the captain now, I think last year. When they went to Sidara. Where I can't remember.
Did he play with us?
Yes.
He played fullback.
Malanda, you know him. He was the captain last year. But last year. I don't know where they went. To which college.
Was it Achman? He played for Taung as well?
No.
Not him?
No. But if you see me, you'd recognize him. Landas, man. But he told me about dairy. Now that you say when you have a dairy, you won't have a life. He told me about dairy. Like, dude, 4 a.m. you up and you are milking. Later on that evening, you are milking. Because before he came to the college, he was a junior manager on that farm. And he was like, nah, fuck this. This is not for me. Like,
no,
I'll rather go back to school and go do something else.
Pigs before dairy.
No. Too intense.
Dairy, you won't see your children grow up. It's, you milk I think they milk 3 times a day.
Two. But I know of. In the morning and then in the afternoon. Depending, of course, how many cattle that you have.
No, that's bad.
No. And every day, Monday, 7 days a week.
And 7 days a week.
So that is nonsense. All right, the other thing that I wanted to get into, do you feel like, because I feel like, all right, I was at the college, right? I genuinely feel like the college didn't prep me enough for the workspace. Like, it was good exposure and stuff, like, get to see broiler, you get to do a little bit of, especially the institution that we were in. It's mixed, you get to see a little bit of everything, but the minute I walked into a commercial farm, I was like, God damn. Like,
I think I lied on my CV.
I wasn't ready for this.
No, definitely.
So in general, we're not prepped enough.
I think the college 20 years ago was this one of the best colleges. There were cattle here, there were sheep. We got SA shearders, they done the competition and they got these Springbok colours. Yeah, so I think if we were here
A few years back.
like Andre, he's practical.
Who's Andre?
The mechanisch, the mechanical oom.
Oh, the oom with the microbus, the oom that pimps out this vintage cars.
Yeah.
He's a musician as well.
Clip. There you take the engine out. Was it the engine? Did you take split the engine out? Look at all those Ford tractors in the workshop. I didn't even touch one.
I remember.
Too much holidays here. So no, they didn't prep me. But I think the knowledge that I gained from the books,
the theory
helped me where I could say, like for example, Simon.
He was a machine.
He's good. Don't just inject don't just cut. Put injection and see if it's water or pus. Then from there on you can treat. So that helped. But the other practical stuff
was not.
On Bill's subject,
grazing,
in your third year, it helped because then you could actually see everything coming to practice. That was quite nice. But I only realised it in my third year. And Kobus was nice with the
beef as well.
The beef, but dairy. We go with what's his name?
Mukaila.
No, don't say his name.
Oh.
No, what is his name? That was right. He done nutrition. JJ now.
No, I wasn't here.
He was good.
Was it?
Yeah. He with nutrition and dairy. He became almost a doctor's. His expectation was high for every student. So that was good subjects before he left.
I remember when Buta once mentioned, you remember him?
Yeah.
You don't like him?
No, it's good. It's good.
I remember him telling us the other day that even with his little course, you had to build like a RDP, like
he
a small
told us.
little house, plumbing. You had to do the whole thing, and I thought that is proper building, because what we did, we built we had to do a little square with 5 bricks and
with mud.
Yeah, with mud. And he says, no, dude, you had a team of 5 or 3 or whatever.
He also told us that story. And then I don't know, did you guys do the concrete floor? So every year you will see all the students, each year the students lay the concrete floor. You will see it's divided into blocks. So all the students each year
lay a foundation of their own.
Yeah, so in 20, 30 years then there were 30 blocks moving up. So we were on the point. I don't think there is any more room to expand.
To build such
but
anymore.
I can't actually remember. I think there is a few years left. But it was quite interesting how many years it came down.
I remember, my production manager, like I mentioned, I work for a big company. So I have my manager on the farm, and then above him is the production manager who manages all the farms. I think it's 10 or something like that.
Are they bigger than Chubby Chick?
No, whoa. Chubby, I'm not so sure how big Chubby is, but they're not as big as Rainbow, for example. I have a good idea of Rainbow. They're not as big as Rainbow, but they are decent. Like I said, 70 to 80% of all the spas in Gauteng, the company's eggs is there. So they have 10, 6, 8 laying farms. But my point is, my production manager, the guy that looks after all the farms, he studied here, and he was a student here, and he actually asked me about what is that building next to What is that hall?
Spook as Alex Hallman.
Alex Hall.
But next to it was the old classrooms that burnt down.
Yeah, he asked me about the building.
We called it later the spookhuis. We always took the girls there.
No, that is what I knew as well. But he mentioned it in such a way that maybe there was something special there, or that was there like generations before, because that building has been abandoned for like what?
2006, if I have it correctly, it burnt down. Not that long ago.
Until now, but it is long ago. That is like 7 years down the pipeline. And it's but anyway, he was also here, and he asked me a few questions like how's the place now, because I don't think he came here after that. I don't think he's been here recently. He knows how the place looked, but in his era, like he also told me stories about the amount of cattle and the production and the what. So it sounded like it was pretty decent. If you did practicals, you actually did a decent practical.
Had the sheep, the border collies for the sheep. So a student could bring a border collie, and then he'll teach you how to train, or help you train the dog, and then to herd the sheep. So there was Kobus, 2000, told us.
No, he once told that story, I remember.
I don't know that story.
Yeah, he was there.
Is it?
Yeah.
There were horses here as well. You could bring a horse. No, this place was great.
Shit, that is nice. But let's go back to let's touch a bit on students, right? Do you think, let's say the year, the people that the circle that we are, let's say the rugby guys, and do you think once you graduate there's opportunities in the country for like graduates, or is it a struggle for everyone?
No, definitely a struggle for everyone. If you don't inherit, irrespective of white or black, you won't. Not one of us can afford to buy land. So it's a huge struggle
for everyone.
No, who has 5 million, 10 million to start, and we're still young. We don't know what to expect. So, from what I've seen, like my friends go to America, and it's quite clever. So they get $14-15 an hour times 14 rand for 9 months. Then they come back with that capital and start their own thing. So I think if more
students looked into that,
and not just relied on their diploma and I can't do it. Government will give me or whatever.
You're always praying and hoping and waiting for something to happen.
So I think with the Afrikaans people, they definitely taking that opportunity. Where I said, I think black people haven't seen that yet.
I have a friend. My manager did that before he came. He used to go there and go ploeg and stroop. So it was a seasonal thing. Like he'll be there for 3 months and come back.
And
he was a truck driver as well.
Everyone's like farming there. No, you're a tractor driver. Just getting paid well.
Calm down. You're not up there. A friend of mine, I don't think you know him. But we went here together. He was here, one of the guys. He was actually overseas. He worked for one of the biggest, I can't remember the farm's name, or the second biggest egg producer in the States. Arks Farm or Arks something. But it is a humongous farm. Like, because I do rearing, he also did, he did rearing. Their system is the chickens come in and they never leave. So they rear them and they lay in that. So after that cycle, after maybe a year, is that 18 weeks to grow them. Once they start laying, they stay there for like another 18 months in that house. They don't transfer, they don't do anything. And he was like, on that farm, one house, the house that he manages has like 200,000 birds.
Yes.
One house, the house that he managed has 200 and something. And on the farm is like 12 of them. They have a side A and a side B. So it is a humongous company. So he came back with a shitload of experience and stuff like that. But there's not really a big difference between what he did there and what I'm doing here. Like, he can't tell me something that I don't know. Oh, it's not really, because most people think that because you went overseas, you come back with some extraordinary.
You just come with muchos.
You just come with money.
Well, there they've got all the new
technology.
New technology. Here we suckle. So when we go there, it's like, oh, this one is so good.
So easy. My manager was saying that, like, you in his trooper, in his what is a trooper? A harvester.
Harvester.
A harvester. His harvester. That thing. All you have to do is basically turn it.
Yeah, everything is auto
everything
steer.
And he has like a fucking little mini screen, and he can watch, and it has Wi-Fi. Like the whole day he's on YouTube watching movies.
Getting fat in there.
And just getting fat. All you do is to turn it around. Now that you mentioned like technology, right? 5 minutes. Now that you mentioned technology, don't you think that the more advanced, the better the technology gets, the bigger the unemployment gap? Like, now you don't need 10 people anymore to help you do whatever you have to do. You have a piece of machine that can do everything for you. Don't you think that, even though I understand why we're doing it, because you are more efficient, you're more productive, and you're increasing your profit margin, like, those are
less
logical.
labor
And
issues.
it's less people, because managing people is...
I don't think in this country.
Yeah.
I think the big farmers, maybe with the plant, they'll just get bigger tractors. But I don't, not to be disrespectful, but labor is cheap. I don't think
there's any need.
it will take 100 years before the lower class
Decides
will become middle class. I don't. There's too. The gap is too big. And to be in another thing is we are farmers. They're definitely farmers. We're spoiled with labor, cheap labor.
And that is genuinely true, because I'm an assistant manager, so I employ and fire and whatever. So I know the situation. Let's talk. Do you guys have foreigners working on your farm, like
I don't
Zimbabweans?
believe in them.
You don't?
Don't believe in them.
Like, you don't employ them at all. You don't want them.
They won't come close to the farm.
Is it? And that is your preference.
It's a different culture. And it, for example, I'm going to make a country up. Come say Kenya. Say there are rebellions, the government isn't working. There's no
hypothetically.
Now they come here, all they know is what happens in their land. Then they come here
with that same attitude,
yes.
mindset, and do the same.
No, I think crime will go up. I know.
You see, there's a lot of different...
And sorry, and the other thing is, if we employ, say, the Malawis or the Zimbabweans or the I haven't seen really Mozambicans. I think that's more...
there's a couple. I have a couple.
Maybe Mpumalanga.
Yeah, they're in the Gauteng, Mpumalanga. Yeah.
Our South African workers, I think they start to lose respect for you.
That why would you go so far? And you have like a location just close by, or...
And they
whatever.
fight with each other. So it's I don't...
So you don't advise that?
No, but what the farmers are doing is getting Malawis in cheap labor.
Cheaper than South African labor is already cheap. Those guys are super cheap.
A month. What I've heard. That's not right. How do you compete with a guy that's like 30,000 fine? You can't compete with a guy with that, and they work hard at this, but you can't compete.
No, that is true. My opinion is, because I spoke to a couple of my peers, and like Machaudi, he employs people on his farm. Like, people have preferences, and in some cases it's a situation where I personally feel like, and a friend of mine also told me this about the guy that I said went to America. That in America, Americans don't want to be farm workers. Like, the middle class is they don't want to be farm workers, so they get in Mexicans or whatever not.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know. Who wants to dig a hole?
You know what I'm saying?
I want to be king.
So that is
Everyone wants to be king.
that is just an honest. So most people feel like, or not most, some feel like South Africans are too choosy. They don't want to do the hard labor. Like they don't want to do farm job. They want rather to be a what is this term they use? Voerman. Want to be a foreman, or they don't want to be the actual. And that is why these Malawians or foreigners come in and they ask for job, and hey, fuck, you employ the guy because he works his ass off.
I think the other thing is society. Everyone is urbanization. Everyone's moving from the rural areas to the city because that's where the money is. So I think that plays also a role where, it's like you said, there's no smaller population of a working force left in the town, and we become picky. It's like,
I don't.
How old are you? 70? Okay, you can come. So I think that's a big thing as well, because everyone, this is the big dream. Go to the city, make lots of money. And
City of gold.
Yeah. So I think that has a big role.
Yeah, and that is definitely true. I think there is a humongous role. But that is not something spoken about. But anyway, people have their preferences and stuff. But I do not mind. Like, the other thing that I wanted us to chat is it's slipping now. It's
No, just to get in between there. Lakes, I would like to ask you, in terms of you're a manager now.
Yeah.
Right. You have what? How many years? 8 years now, or
5 years.
5 years experience. Have you ever had small scale farmers trying to reach out to you for you to guide them or to mentor them? And what is your take on it? Like, do you believe the way society is going, the way we as black people are entering the agriculture, do we need that guidance of people? Not necessarily you have to be white or anything, but you've been
commercial guys.
You've been you've been in the commercial space for so long. Have you ever had guys whereby they came to you, small scale farmers, like, hey, Legs, maybe they were in the same school as you. Legs, can you please help me out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Do you believe as black people, are we reaching out enough to people in the commercial space?
I think, I don't mean disrespectful.
No, shoot. No.
I think the subsistent farmers, or the guys with the farming dream, the foundation isn't right.
And what?
You can't, for example, I started the workers on the farm that stays there, they don't have any chickens.
Yeah.
So I started to buy them chickens so that they can eat it later, or when it's big, eat it. But they couldn't work with the money. So I think they have the dream, I'm gonna have so many chickens.
So
but
they don't have the business skills.
Yes, the entrepreneur skills and the money skills to make it a success. So you can come to me and I can explain my best to you, and then you do it.
But then
when
the money
the money comes in,
you buy it.
All of a sudden it's like, okay, I've got money, then cash flow problem, that problem. So I think honestly the foundation. So you come to the college, you're getting a theoretical skill, but all the foundation of all of us wasn't really made because it couldn't get the practical.
Yeah.
And when you start to go on your third year, or when you become the manager, we've never worked with money. So,
and we were never taught properly.
And not
money.
everyone can work with money.
Yeah, and that is true as well. And whether you're black, white, Indian, colored, money needs.
Indians, they will do it.
Money, no, but some Indians are idiots.
No,
like,
check it.
Okay, yeah, but some guys, like, Black doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Money is very tricky. You need to be skillful,
I
taught.
think if you get that foundation right, then you can go dream big.
Yeah, but have you had any small scale farmers reaching out to you? You've never had.
No.
But if one comes to you, will you be?
But
open
what
to
we have helped was when we studied the college, then students will come and ask questions. And we did. Yeah, we do it like that. We do it like that. But that's only because we were all here, off by the rugby field. But we no one has came to the farm as like an old friend or someone's like, hey,
I seriously
that's my
need you.
idea.
Yeah.
But there was a guy that phoned me. What is his name? Calvin. Land Bank has an initiative where they give you 100,000 without security, but you have to give a business plan. So I gave him the number for the guy, but he must not go further.
No, you can't.
Because I was like, okay, let me
you can't
try
spoon
this.
feed.
Yeah, so I will help in that aspect with that. But if your foundation, with anyone, if your foundation isn't right, you're not going to
work.
going to make it.
And there's a general perception that just because you're white, you're a good farmer. Like, is that, and just because you're white, you inherited land. Like, it has come easy. Like, let's take you for an example. Where you're working, that is not your father's place. Like, you're working and you proved yourself worthy. So someone would look at you and be like, no, just because he's white, he got it easier. Like, he was the first preference, not understanding that you actually you proved yourself worthy of maybe being where you are now, professional wise.
Yeah, like I said, our youth, if you don't inherit, you won't. One in 1,000 that will
You're a
make
special
it.
case.
No, you're a special
from
case,
the
well
ground
done,
up.
Bitcoin lucky guy. We won't. But the thing is with white people inheriting, it's a westernized culture that came down generations. If you think about it, like if my parents pass away, I get their furniture, of me and my sister, obviously. It comes down to us. When I pass away, it goes down. So I don't think that should be linked with white people and farming. It's just a westernized culture. It's just the farm that's going down. If you're in a city, you'll get
the same
a house, same thing. And I think the other thing is, like, if you think if you're white, we're better farmers. I think the black people must actually go and look into the culture of when the westernized countries came to colonize South Africa. They were farmers
already,
and through 400 years of farming,
so they
that
have
was the
already
culture.
generational knowledge.
Yes,
4 or 5 generations that knew how to farm already.
And if you go and look in the Free State, almost every farm, or Eastern Free State, has a house on a farm that's now broken down. So the generation where everyone lived on the farm is gone. Look at Lindley. My mom's school was huge. Now look at it now. So
Ghost
what's
town.
going on here? And that's where the rural area. What happened with the whites in the 90s? They all went to the cities, and that's happening now with black people as well. It's just different times. But I think to associate with white people being better farmers, it's incorrect. It's the Afrikaaner that grew up with generations on the farm that makes them better adapted to be farming, because that's all they knew.
And besides, you have you have generations of knowledge that was given down to you. Like, there's there's almost a few things that can surprise you because your father have seen some things, your grandfather has seen some things, your opa grootjie has seen some things, and you are learning some things. So you pass all that knowledge down to your child, and that child has 10 times more experience than you just walking into college and walking out with your degree and diploma. That child looks at you like, come on, boo. Let's come on farm and I'll teach you a thing or two with your little degree and stuff.
So another thing, what, like, from your point of view, and regardless of what we're going to say here, it's still going to get good and bad feedback. Whether we say a good thing or a bad thing, things can always take short left.
Yeah. I just want to stay in Durban.
So where do you see Afrikaans, or should I say white people, in the farming industry in the next 20 to 40 years? Because currently now they have the systems in place and everything in place, but we coming, we here. Where do you see the future of the fellow white brothers? Where do you see that going?
So
well, I think irrespective if land, if say for example black people get 80% of the land, what's busy happening in currently in the land is fewer farmers, bigger farms.
Mega farmers.
Yeah, mega farmers. So you guys can get all the land, 10, 15 years later, hypothetically, it's going to happen to you guys as well. Smaller, less farmers, bigger farms with managers. So everyone can get his plot. But I'm telling you, it's just a time. He's going to sell, that guy's not going to make it, and there's entrepreneur. He's like, and
we're living in a capital, and that is how things work. People want to grow, and people grow and grow.
Why I'm asking that question is, are we then leading to the commercial guys who are in the industry? Are they afraid to give out knowledge to me as a black person, so that maybe
fearing that you might overtake or take over,
or I have an upper hand on?
I haven't, to be honest, I haven't met someone that isn't willing. Obviously, if you're a poople,
you're a poople.
But if
you won't waste your time.
Really, how do you do that? I don't see. I don't see someone that's stupid. I don't see someone. That's really bad people that do that.
And narrow-minded.
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't see it. I haven't seen it.
Let's talk about farm murders, right? What I personally feel like, or from my point of view, it's almost like it's been racialized, and some people might look at it and say that white guys or white farmers want special privilege. Some people, like, we all have our different perspective on the matter. But do you guys feel, as white farmers, do you guys feel like you get enough support from your peers in agriculture? Like for myself, I'm in the agricultural space, like from black guys, for it not to look like a racial thing. Because I remember I did something very fucked up. There was this protest. I think it was Black Friday or Black something.
It's not Black Monday, but it's where everyone would wear black.
Black and
support of.
So there was a convoy like going through town, right? And I remember I was with Landas that day, and it was some of the rugby guys. So they were passing by and they saw me and Landas, and they was like, "Come, Jude, come and join us." And we didn't go and join. I feel like I fucking crushed them. That like fucking, like it crushed them. Like, even you guys, we play in the same team. And that was pretty fucked up. I can understand how they look at it, but in general, my point is, or my question is, do you guys feel like there's enough black involvement, for it not to be seen as if. Because there's black farmers that are being attacked, there's black farmers,
actually,
workers.
My farm manager is a black man, and he was scared of sweeping at his farm, dog. He never used
because
to
of
sweep
crime.
Because of the crime, dog.
Dog, even my uncle, dog, we've reinforced the kraal so many times to a point where you can't get in anymore. Now they jump into the kraal and kill the cattle inside and just chop up pieces that they want to fucking carry and leave the carcass right there. But we didn't want to reinforce the kraal so much that they can't get in at all. They end up coming to the house and saying, fuck you, let's come and open here.
I think there's two parts of it, how you might see. You struggling with animal theft, like we struggle. And then so if they don't get the cattle, they come to the house. That's theft. But with the PLAASENG murders, to burn grannies with irons, come break in the house, guys. That is...
Take what you take.
But don't come shoot. I remember in Lindley, he shot the wife.
Want a refill?
No,
okay.
He shot the wife, the child, and the father. So I think...
Did he end up stealing anything?
No, I don't know.
But it was unnecessary. The point is, it was wrong.
But it was wrong.
Yeah.
So I think a community, if white people went to Lukasi and started killing people, telling now you guys will be like, hey, time to go to sea.
Yeah. No, that is true. I get what you're saying.
But it isn't happening. And obviously that is now a generalization where black people do it. But it's murderers that are doing it. You shouldn't point it to a color thing because it shouldn't be like that. But it is a problem in the land where we are being killed. And for the ANC not to, what's the word?
See it as a crisis.
They asked Ramaphosa to admit it, that the problem is. He did it. When he was at the, wasn't UN, but when he was with the other...
No, I think it was...
He was like, no, everyone's safe. Admit it's a problem. That's all we want. Just say it's a problem. Being a unit, how can you have a unit for cash and transit? Children.
Gender-based violence and.
But when on record, and there are figures that the farming community, is high. There was a thing, it was called the commando. They helped the police.
And it was dismantled, I think, during the Thabo Mbeki era, when Thabo Mbeki came in.
I think it is that time.
It was...
bring a unit out to help, that's all. Then everyone's happy. But the farming community is being killed.
But do you guys feel like even myself, like even here at the college, while we were still here at the college, do you feel like on a little bit more personal level, like even someone like myself, you looking at me, do you think like, or do you have, is it almost like every white guy is generalizing that even this guy wouldn't? Or is it maybe, do you feel like there's a problem somewhere? Maybe the government is not sending out the right messages to mobilize or to make people aware that, fuck, this is a genuine problem.
I think they're denying it. And for example, if they had to deny that land is an issue in the country, there will be more fireworks, protesting, everything. And then eventually that's like, okay, there's a problem. My bad. But if we don't recognize that their problem is, and leave one, South Africa has 11 cultures. We are supposed to all live together. Yeah. one side is getting more, not special treatment, one side is getting...
has a bit more advantage.
No, not advantage, as at the moment is being affected. Other parts of the cultures, for example, let's say Zulus, of course, will say they want land as well. And now the Zulus like, no. Then all of a sudden, those two cultures are unhappy. So we're living in a diverse country where one group is being affected. But it shouldn't be a colour thing, it should be the farming community is getting affected. And I think with the generalization, I think if you can say America, they all think Mexicans are drug lords, and because it is higher under their culture, and I think it's the same here.
Yeah, like
white
like
people
Nigerians
steal,
are the drug guys.
See it more as black people. I think that's just a generalization. It would be stupid to... it's offensive to think like that.
Yeah. The other thing is, because this social media networks works on my understanding of it, right? Like let's take Facebook for an example. Work on algorithms. So I follow intentionally because, like I said, there's white friends that I grew up with that I consider my brothers, but because of this political stuff that almost affected one, because you see it on the news, you see Malema, and they all pushing this certain narrative. You end up buying into it because you see it always in. But my point is, let's take Facebook for an example. I deliberately join or follow white groups and white, because there's some of my peers, they don't know how big this thing is. For an example, even on Facebook, like you guys have groups, you guys share stuff, but it never reaches the black community. Like it generally.
Well, the information.
Like the information, like the videos that you guys send and share. Like for example, if you were to share something and you don't have black people like as your friends on Facebook, and not that is a problem. Like if you don't, black people won't see. Even if you share it assuming that you're putting it out to the world. But because the social media stuff works on algorithm, they end up just showing it amongst the white community. So all the things that you guys are sharing end up staying in the white communities.
You think we're sharing it with everyone,
but you actually
people should just join the group.
That is my point exactly. Because you guys assume that, and that is why I felt like sometimes even my peers, like there's a guy I grew up with, like we shared the same room, like me and that guy was almost brothers, one of the guys, and he's white and he's farming now, and he's also a manager somewhere in the Free State and so on and so forth. But me and him don't like me and that guy were genuinely brothers. We didn't just play rugby together. If he was in shit, like I show up now. If I don't have a cigarette, I ask that guy like, yo, give me a fucking cigarette, make a plan for me. Like that type of brotherhood. And now he's farming, and I'm also in the farming space. But it's almost like this an indirect conflict that we never solved, because now we don't talk anymore because of this farmers and this political situation that we are going through. So that led me to thinking that maybe it's almost seen that we don't share, we don't see what is going on, we are ignorant. But then I realized that amongst my black friends that don't have any white people on their social media, they don't see all these videos that I see on my wall. So that is also a problem that I think hopefully this podcast, now that everyone knows, will get to understand that.
But don't you think under the black community there's a more of a expectation amongst them? They expect it to happen.
Expect what to happen?
Say for example, you got the government should have taught me.
Instead of you being proactive.
I should have been. I got a better tender for better land, so my view is I think there's a more of an expectation amongst the black community where you expect to get it. Where we go
Proactive.
out and
Black community, they expect from the government, and it's
no, there's expectation for this. This is an example.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just
No, but
covering
it is a
everything
thing
up.
because
Yeah,
I
it
want
is a
to
thing,
add
but
on that.
on my side, it's a thing of you as an outsider, you generalize, and I cannot blame you to that point when you're generalizing, but there are actual guys who are doing things out there. They don't expect anything from the government. The government, like us now.
Yeah, but it's how big is that group?
Yeah,
Because
that is.
because like if you can say, if, for example, when you talk about the child, that's like well done. But how many? Let's talk
The
about the
percentage.
students here. They expect, if you can help me if I'm wrong, to get work by the Department of Agriculture. I mean, expecting it.
But Steve, just bring me my cap, please, dog. Yeah. No, that is true because what I think is.
Sorry, the 600 farm of 500,000 hectares. How much?
That the department is giving out.
How many of that
Hectares, that land.
How many people are expecting it?
Mm,
And how
a
many
lot.
people actually deserve it? That is how I see it.
No, it's true because as a black guy, I think it's on the seat or somewhere. Just check there in the car.
We can go sit there.
And let's just wrap up this one real quick. I genuinely feel like but if you don't find it, it's fine, dude. Yeah. Okay, it's a situation where even our politicians, like the messaging that is going out there, for me personally, is the government is making us stupid. Like we must fight for land. Like they're dumbing us down, and you end up having a group of people that are not proactive, but that are waiting for RDPs. We are waiting for grants. We are waiting. We expect.
It's like
we expect.
A shepherd and sheep. You will do that. Yes. But that's how I see it.
No,
and then if it's something doesn't happen, then
we strike.
Then they will give in a little bit, and then for another 3-4 years, you're fine, and then you expect again. You are right. The government is giving you guys that expectation, because if you think about the RPG houses, my workers it's their right. They're getting one. They expect it from the government, but why haven't they got it? So when they come in, okay, 100's gonna get now. Don't worry, you'll get it.
It's coming.
But they, like you said, they're making them stupid, and that's not right.
And that is true. And my aim is not to offend anyone, but the truth is the truth. And there are some black people that have the thinking that I'm like, no, don't make us stupid. You guys are just saying stuff to win votes. You guys are just saying stuff. So you actually end up with a population in a large majority that is really just dumb and just waiting for food parcels and waiting for stuff instead of going out on the streets and selling stuff, whatever. And it is sad. It's and it makes us. I feel like it gives.
You guys are playing not playing, but you guys are looking at the white people and seeing, look at what they accomplished. Look, they have this, they have that. You're playing catch up, where the black community's leaders aren't doing the right. There's not a proper leader. Where
they're going for the lowest hanging fruit.
Yes.
Instead of,
if you guys got that house in order and stop looking at what that guy has, what that guy has, where you focus on yourself.
And build.
A problem with us is we don't have capital. So we go to America, come back with the money. I don't see that entrepreneurship from the black people. You guys could also go.
And
what's stopping you
the
guys?
thing is, here's the other thing. Now that you mention it, or rather, a thing that I also wanted to add is, I feel like such things end up making, when me and you sit down like this, like peers, I almost feel like, because of what is happening in the country, because we are all individuals, now you look at me with that same mindset that, yeah, fuck, Gaddafi is also, but not necessarily generalizing, but it still plays in the back of your mind. I also feel like you guys don't see enough black people that are doing genuine, legit shit and
Yeah, but
kicking ass.
but that's the generalization. Say, for example, no offense, when we were at the college, it wasn't up to standard with the grounds. Okay, the rugby field was cut and the
And
lights
unfortunately,
worked.
it's under black management.
Now we come here, and then it's like, okay, the pole is off. Hey, at least there's a danger board. But the felt looks bad. So again, we see one point and then it's like all of them.
And
That's not right. Like what you say now.
for me, that is sad. Yeah, for me, that is.
But just to let me sum up by the generalizing thing, because here's the thing: it's like me seeing every white guy as racist. Like Leaks, I've known you, like you've been a nice guy. You even bought beers for the whole bus. When we went to Free State, welcome. Yeah. You even bought beer for the whole bus.
Yeah.
But my problem comes when we don't look at you as an individual. We generalize. It's
Using
like
that-
us generalizing them, or no, each and every white guy.
You know, also white
it's a
guys,
good
white
farmer.
people are
Like he's
rich.
always a
he
good
owns
farmer. It's not
land.
the case, dog. Like why can't we then, as
That's
a
what I
community, without leaving the government out, as a community, and hence I asked them, has he had any
People just reaching out.
why can't we look at people as individuals, and that will help us going forward in terms of fighting the murder. You know, this is my group, this is my group
This
of
is my
black people, you know,
Black, white,
black or white,
this
I
is
don't
my
care,
people.
you know. And I think if we can start differentiating those, it's like, dog, it's like me seeing every white man as a racist. Dog, they are good white men. Sucre, for example, he just called the guy, I lost the job, the guy sent him money.
Compete.
Dog, dog, he was so generous.
And he farms actually, I don't know, do you know the feedlot, I think,
Ventersdorp.
on your way to
I talk
Ventersdorp?
about on Piet.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
You know Kuts or Lesufi? You know him. If you see him, you'll know him.
Check certain podcast.
Buy a lot of food by him.
Lesufi had a Sucre had a feedlot.
This is a good thing.
So we used to buy some, and he's a good old timer. The last time we went
Doesn't
there,
like dagga.
the last time you smoke. The last time we went there, he was actually like, he wants, because we invited him over to the farm, and he was like, yeah, I want to come there, and I want just to sit with you guys around a bonfire, and just we talk the whole night. We can work during the day, and I can show you guys because we wanted him to come through and to come and show us a thing or two, how to manage a feedlot, how to.
Very, very
Good.
knowledgeable.
He's
I
very
asked him thousands of questions. When I see him, like, it's like, so, let me just get my pen.
And he's very calm.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah.
calm.
But that is my point exactly.
Yeah.
We have good white guys, we have good black guys, we have
But
good,
it's the same with everything.
But why are we
with-
generalizing?
with
Here's the thing.
The farm killings. Is it a crime, or is it a killing of the white people, or is it all, amongst all farmers?
Yeah.
So you won't get that out of the generalization amongst population groups. You don't think we're the only country struggling. Go to America.
They have their own
no,
Go
politics.
to Germany now. Now it is the Turks and the million immigrants that they allowed in. Just think about the what problems they have. We just don't see it.
They don't put it out in the media for the world to see their dirty laundry.
So everyone struggles with it. But I think that the thing is, all of us must stop trying to play catch up. What that race is doing, what that one's doing. Get your house in order.
I think you see, especially here at the college, like we lack a culture that binds us all, black, white, like, because I grew up and I went to, like yourself, like to settlers. You said that there was like initiation, like there was seniors. This is our seniors, whether you are young or old, but if you're a senior and you're a junior, I'm your boss for that period until you become, doesn't matter whether you're black, white, if you're a junior, if you're first year, you're first. I think that really helps because that genuinely works, and that is something that everyone can buy into. If we had something like that here,
we did have it.
But you guys had it. But
but it is. It's like it's 100 years amongst.
No. But my point is, we didn't have a culture that bonds us all together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah,
like a common understanding, like your first year, regardless. Me and you can chill as seniors.
Everyone must cut their hair.
You know what I'm saying? And those kind of things bonds us.
In
but
agriculture.
I thought the rugby for me was a good bonding, but we didn't mix outside the rugby team.
That was also one of my problems.
The problem is, it's like distance and what you call it. We don't have anything in common. You like rugby, I like rugby, so we'll talk. But now we'll go. Now we meet 3 other people. What do we have in?
No, but that is a misperception.
No, but also we both like one thing, so we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
If we actually take all the students, so we're all from different cultures. So music isn't gonna work, dancing isn't gonna work. Strike, all of us took that 80%. Were you here with the 80% attendance?
If you don't,
he was here. I was definitely here.
What was that?
We got all of us. It's like the Jean.
If you don't have 80% attendance, you fail.
Even if you passed, though, you failed.
But I didn't really pay attention to that nonsense.
So if you don't have anything in common, you can't have it. It won't work.
But let's leave those politics. Let's get to farming a bit.
Summarize. In agriculture, I feel like you, Legavan, and Gaddafi, you have something in common, which is agriculture. There is something in common. Agriculture, what I'm saying, agriculture is a lifestyle. You can't say I'm a farmer part-time. That will never win. I've never seen a farmer who farms part-time. Like once, I feel like the agricultural sector is a sector that is so divided. But if us, white and black, we can create a culture.
A common culture.
A culture whereby we don't care you are white, you are black,
I think that is the...
It's a culture. Then things will unite.
It's a utopia that we all want, but it won't happen.
It's hard to make.
Yeah, but it's...
Black people want land. It's a reality. White people have the land.
Yeah.
White people feel the Reconciliation Act is appropriate. Black people of the younger generation don't feel it's appropriate. It's not enough. Now, we want this community that we all dream of. Now, come sit by me. You want... If I walk into your house and I say that's mine now, you're gonna fight with me.
Of course.
And at that moment, there's gonna be conflict.
But again, that is a miss. Like, if I was to come to your place, like, not all of us, not all black people have that kind of mentality. That is I fear my problem, and that is what I said I think a bit earlier, that I feel like even us sitting like this, because the messaging and the generalization, everything is still in the back of your mind. You don't just fucking shut down all of that stuff when you meet me. That's still playing. For example, if I walk to your place, like, I grew up in a place where I work for my shit. I get my stuff. So that generalization alone is a problem. And I feel like you as white guys don't take the time to understand black people. I feel like it in most cases, it's almost like...
But we grew up.
Let me just finish this one. Let me just finish. I almost feel like you guys want us to buy into what you guys are doing, and then that is it. In most cases, not again, this is also a bit generalization, but in most cases, we have to buy in to what you guys are doing. You guys don't take time to understand what is this black guys doing, and maybe we can do it, but do it in a. We almost have to adapt to you guys, and you guys are not willing to adapt to us because of the stereotypes and what is happening on the news and Malema and all these riots and toy. But you don't take time to understand Gaddafi, and Gaddafi is black, but you don't take time to understand, like.
No, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is a humongous
but that's
problem. For me.
again the stereotype. They generalize again. We think we inferior because we see. Come here, look at.
Oh, because you guys think we are inferior. We are because of the situation where you see lack of maintenance, and it's under black management.
And that is sad.
For 26 years. So I understand. I don't have that problem. I understand these group of guys want to be farmers, good. But that big majority also want to be farmers. How are you going to stop? How are you going to say, okay, we will lead? But then you again have an expectation because they're not educated.
Yeah.
So how are you going to stop that?
Here's the thing, in every country there's a poor. There's poor people, there's a middle class. But this guy put it into perspective. Most developed countries, their economy is something like this, like a diamond shape. There's a few people at the top, and then there's a lot. The middle class is humongous. And then there's a few people at the bottom. But in our case, our economy is more like a diamond. So there's a few people at the top, the middle class is very small, and a pyramid rather, and the lower class is humongous. And I feel like there's some black people that are in the middle class, like black people that are doing stuff for themselves, and you guys don't get to see them. And you guys, and those are the people that should be blending with the white guys, so that even the lower class can see that shit. Look at what those guys are doing. So it's possible.
But
how do
those
we do
small
it?
group, do the black people also see them? For example, for example, the Afrikaners, for 10 years, if I have it correct, donated 10 rand to open a private Afrikaans university. Afrikaans. If you speak Afrikaans, you're more than welcome to study there. Who are the rich black people here? What's his name? Chepo,
Patrick Motsepe.
Where's his money? Ramaphosa is also rich.
He's a billionaire.
Where are the black people's incentives to say, okay, we're gonna build our own university? You guys have your group, that small group that you now spoke. Where are those big guys up top there that's saying we're gonna start our own private Xhosa school, or we're gonna develop the Zulu language that all the universities can have it, not just English, Afrikaans.
But that I get. I feel like now we're drifting off to what I was saying. I was saying, especially in the agricultural sector, it's so divided, and yet, so like people think black people are not getting into this thing. Go out there, you will see there are so many black farmers who are doing very well. Like, dude, my point is, let's have
our peers that are doing fantastic things.
Let's have a culture. Regardless, you're white, you're blue, you're black. There's a certain culture.
And this is an agricultural culture. It's not a white Indian.
It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing.
It's an
agricultural thing. Just to show people this is possible. Dog, you can live here, I can live there. It's not about what you have or what I have. It's about me achieving what I want.
We understand what a farmer is.
We understand what. And dog, I've spoke to old timers like our our commercial guys. Dog, they do not have a problem of some like they have the similar problem as a white guy has. Just because they are divided, that problem.
The white guy doesn't know the black guy has the same problems, and the black guy doesn't know that the white guy has the same problems.
Even if the black guy knows he's having the similar problem, but the approach, they are not. There's no culture in it. What happened to many schools, to many colleges where they had culture, then the culture just broke off? What happened to that thing? let's take an example here. What happened? There was a culture was broke. What happened after that?
Now it's chaos. Now it's everyone for himself type of thing.
And here's the thing. I feel like agriculture, we are so like we can unite everyone, yet divide everyone at the same time.
That's the problem.
You know,
You can have an initiative. Just say Section 25. I'm also. What's it?
Oh.
I understand. You've seen this one.
But
you understand? That's great. Understand his point that it will be great for the land.
But why are we young guys not doing it? So why are we young guys not inviting ourselves? Like, why are we not being proactive? Even social media. Like, if I have something on the farm, like we going hunting this weekend, I invite Lakes and Boergat and Blauwdraad. But it's almost like you guys won't come because it's black guys there. But establish that thing.
I think it's
because it has to start somewhere, and someone has to do it first.
That the thing that you guys want is a agricultural community. But culture. So, for example, we can talk about a new way to dose sheep. We can all talk about it, but when we go behind doors, the Zulus and the Khoisas can't sleep in the same place. The Coloureds and Indians don't like each other, and you guys like house. I like socky. He likes opera. With the farming community, we can talk about a round table, but to go out that door, it's difficult. Because you guys, I don't think, for example, you're louder in culture. We are more softer. We don't. It's for me inappropriate to shout for someone far. Hey, come here. But you got come. Yeah, come. For us, so it's difficult.
Let's look at the States, right? The States has almost better than we have. Not that they are great. They have their own shit, and the racism is still there, and there's still a divide, and they still. The point is, we don't have to get along on everything, like moral values and religion, and you have your own religious practices, I have my own. But there's some things besides just.
I thought at the college we got.
Well, we did.
Along, that's a great example. Yeah.
But the problem is,
but we didn't learn from, we didn't teach each other.
The problem is we never got together and sit around the bonfire and have a beer. Like we all get along with beer. We don't have to go into, we all.
But that should be management for where you say, okay, we're going to do like our master chef is where the contestants show their trick. So actually there should have been an incentive. Okay, what do you know that's good? Then someone will come. This is how we do the knots on the wires. Great. That should have happened.
That is true. But my point is just that, to conclude, and I think we need to jump into something else. My point is just that there's so many things that we relate on besides culture. Like me and you sitting here together, we both young men. You like girls, I like girls. You like sports, I like sports. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be a cultural thing that the culture just all of a sudden blend and it becomes this unicorn thing. No, just have certain things that we have in common. Like we get together, we do some fishing. Fishing is not a cultural thing. I mean, if you're hungry and there's a dam, like fuck, let me throw some in there, I might catch a little fish. Like it's not that deep, and I understand your point, and it's a very valid point that you made, that religions are different, cultural practices are different, values are different, morals are different. But as young men, me and you sitting here, there's so many things that we have in common that we assume that we don't have in common. And that is the thing. With that said, but yeah, this racial thing is so deep, and it's almost like when people talk about politics. People can talk about politics the whole day because this one has this perspective, this one has. The other thing that I wanted to ask, we did touch on farm mothers, right? We touched on colleges. Is there anything that you want to add or something that you want to put on the table?
What is your point of view from Section 25?
Mm.
Do you think they should be paid out? Do you think it's fair?
Yeah.
For example, a sin was made many years ago. Other people, economy goes on. Economy doesn't discriminate.
Money doesn't discriminate. Money doesn't know color.
And say, for example, my grandpa bought by this third guy or whatever, and now it's my piece of land. Now, do you feel your granny, that was your granny's land 100 years ago, do you feel you should be compensated or should there be a win-win? And sharing isn't a win-win.
My personal opinion is like, okay, I read a lot, I understand certain things, I understand that things are cycles. I'm the boss today, but eventually the underdog is going to decide that, no, I want to be on top. And then he fights and then he wins. So I understand such concepts and such stuff. So to be frank with you, I believe that no, or to a certain degree, but I believe majority 80% of my answer is no. White guys, because your great-grandfather got the land, however he got the land, but you developed the land to a point where it is what it is now. And to take that piece of land and to give it to a guy, a black guy or Indian guy who did not work for that, you're going to give him that piece of farm, and it has been proven. I think there's a lot of examples of guys that got farms and implements, and after 3 months, 6 years, after a few months, that whole thing is unproductive. So I understand that as well. I took that into consideration when I'm answering you now. That you only value something if you have worked for it. So even if there's this one quote, it says, if someone wants to take all the money in the world and redistribute it evenly, like everyone gets 1,000 rand, 1 year down the line or a few months or a few years down the line, the same people who had the money will still have the money, because it's a mental thing. They know how the money works, they know how to get money, they know how to. So if you were poor and you had poor mindset and you had a poor attitude towards money, even if we redistribute everything, history is going to repeat itself, because you have to work for what you
reap.
You have to
reap for what
you sow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So understand that. So I say, no, it can't be a situation where you take land from this guy who has developed this and it's a well-functioning thing, and you give it to a black guy who has no. Even if the black guy is a good farmer or is an excellent farmer, but you need to work for what is yours. You need to start with a little plot, work your way up from that plot, make it so productive that I come to Lakavan and say, Lakavan, because money talks, and I say, Lakavan, can I buy your farm for this much? Lakavan wants to retire anyway. So that is how I believe the economy works and how things should work. And I'm not saying that all the bad ills that was done in the past are forgiven, but I still feel like black people, and even myself, there's but there is still, we feel like matters. You see, what would have been great for me, or my idea, or my thing, if there was no presidential pardons for all the guys that shot people and arrested people and what the apartheid. If there was no presidential pardon and everyone got present sentences and everyone went to jail, then there is nothing to be angry for, because the people who wronged got what their punishment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But just because that didn't happen, like we acted as if after when 1994, like everything was swept under the table, and that can't be. You're not solving anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I believe that if there was no presidential pardons and everyone who killed this and who killed that, and there's actual proof that this person did this and this person did that, goes to jail, does the prison sentence, I wouldn't feel, maybe a little piece of me wouldn't feel like, but there was no repercussions for what happened. Everything was just.
But don't you think the act that was developed, willing buyer, willing seller, then a claim comes in, so there's no more willing seller. There's no more willing seller. But the seller at least gets compensated. Do you agree that it's still a good system, or would you how would you change it if it's not for good? Because say you're bucky, you worked hard for it.
Yeah.
So I come and take it.
But
do you understand that?
I get that.
We feel one side, I'm going to lose everything
that I've worked for.
Yeah, but my well, I know my family wasn't part of it, but they didn't take any land. But I also have a right here.
I get that.
And I didn't do that horrible stuff. Why must I get punished?
No, but do you guys amongst yourself, don't you also feel like you had a head start? Like if
no, I don't.
Here's the thing.
With capitalism, I'm sitting. I don't have. I'm the same as you. I don't have land. I don't have a lot of assets.
And that is true. So we technically, hence I feel like I have white, and we're going through the same struggles. All of them are trying to make
be
it.
Rich one day. I'm trying.
100%, but we cannot deny what happened. Like, for me, it would be almost a bit ignorant to just sweep it under the table. Not saying that willing buy, willing is not a good way to go about it, but I feel like it will almost be to say that whatever laws there was, and we're not talking about 26 years, but we're talking about a country. Someone who's 26 years old now is fucking basically still trying to figure himself out, still trying to find his world. So we're talking about a history that is not so long ago, number one. So we're not talking about something that happened while the dinosaurs were still alive 1,000 years back. We're talking about a history that goes like 50 years back. So for me, my personal opinion is whatever laws there were in the apartheid regime about black people cannot do this, black people cannot own that, black people cannot do this, and that was somehow of a competitive advantage that some people got, and again, that's why I went back to the thing that it's not about generalization, but some people got a competitive advantage, because if my grandfather and your grandfather both started farming, and back in the day it was a law that my grandfather couldn't own a piece of land.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So hence I'm saying it will almost be a bit ignorant to just sweep it under the table. But also understanding capitalism and how things work, that you have to work for something for you to actually take care of it, for you to value it. But you have to work your way up.
But don't you think for 26 years that
that should have been done?
People shot themselves in the foot.
That I agree.
Like Blade what's his name?
Blade Mzamanze.
He's like, oh no, we will try and work on from now on a better system.
But it's 22 years, 26 years
registration.
Later.
I was like, listen, I was a student for 8 years. It was the problem 8 years. No, now you're saying you're going to work on it. So I think there is a problem. I agree with your solution. If you feel there shouldn't have been a sorry meeting and they got away with it, punish those that I would have felt the same. But the competitive advantage, I think, in a way, you guys shot yourself, the ANC shot the black people in themselves to the foot, and they're going to still continue if they stay in power.
No, but that is what I said.
The last thing is, and then it comes down to us again, that it's our problem. I agree that there is a problem, but there could have been better solutions. But again, it's coming. All of the problems it's coming to us. But you, as black people, should
also part to blame.
Take blame,
responsibility.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
But I don't see that.
Well, Bona, that is what the thing that we were talking now here on what is happening now with our institution. Like everything is a mess. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a mess, and you can see it. And we genuinely had this conversation this morning. Like, so just because we are not as black students, we are not standing up and saying this is bullshit. Why are you guys not cutting? Why are you guys? So you white students see us black people as, yeah, these guys are happy with this. They are comfortable. So that is where also the generalization, and it's not necessarily,
that is true.
You know what I'm saying? And we were genuinely having this conversation this morning that why don't we organize a couple of graduates and stuff and come back.
But it shouldn't be us. It's a fantastic idea, but it shouldn't. Why must I cut the?
No.
Not us.
No. What I was trying to say is, stand up and say, why is this not happening? Why is this not us cutting the grass? No, fuck that. There's a budget and there's money. There's
equipment
for that.
But the root is already poisoned. Now you're just cutting the top plant off. Yeah, happy. It's again about the sheep following. It's voting time. Hey, remember me. We'll get you a house. Happy for 2-3 years. Uprising again. That's the
So what do you think then is the root? Instead of cutting the flower, what do you think then is the root? What should we fix? Because we clearly understand
that small
that
group of people that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Clearly, they have to stand up and say, listen, Department of Agriculture's fraught from the scalums. Let's get them out. Now we do. Now we say we get all the students, make the news. It's going to be again 2-3 years.
No. The logic here, and again, not all of us believe in strike. I'm not saying.
No, I'm not saying strike. I'm saying a memorandum of.
No.
We want to know whose campus is and do a financial audit. That's fine, but the ideology of evil is still down there. Someone has to clean that house.
No, I get you 100%, and I also just want to make sure that you get me 100. That as much as you see that this place is dirty, I want you to genuinely believe that I see that this is fucked up.
No, but you say something there because you're a leader.
Yeah.
But there are students on all sides that is like, it's bad. Okay, I'm gonna make myself a song.
Fuck this is too much. No, but the problem is what you said again. We have black multimillionaires and billionaires, and they are not. I like Orania. I don't like. There's a whole. Let me not say don't like. I have my own opinions of the structure and what is happening with Orania, the town, and where is it?
I don't know.
Mpumalanga, Free State, or
I think it's Northern Cape.
Northern Cape.
Northern Cape.
Orania. I like the motto of that guy with the rolling up sleeves. Like, you guys have an understanding of let's build, guys. Let's do it ourselves. And that is not the messaging that I believe is coming from the people in power. It's almost like they want to keep us stupid as black people. They want to keep black people stupid so that they keep control. Instead of like you said, leave competition, leave what these guys are doing, leave
Sorry.
Okay.
Hello, bel my met 1/2 uur. Okay, bye.
No, it's
I think the best example is they are I think
I feel bad for
keeping
drinking something and you're not drinking any.
I don't see any black organization. If I can use the solidarity, it's a union. Irrespective of who wants to be a member, they will fight for you. So they asked members for 10 rand a nation for over a period of time. Black people can do that as well, but there's no one out there that wants to develop the black nation.
That mindset, the ideology,
Maybe
the theory.
no, take the book, make it English. So what? who will build our and sustain our own culture. What's sustaining the black cultures in this land?
No, that is true.
Because no one is doing it for you.
There's some, but they're still so small that they are not visible. But but you hit the nail on the head. With my thinking is, I just want us as the youth, as the young guys, to be like, there are people who see, like Gaddafi and them, there are many Gaddafis, there are many Tabos, there are many Lakavans, where we can actually sit down like this and have this kind of conversation and leave without having hard feelings that. And you guys can actually get to see that there are black guys or black guys and girls that are open-minded. They see things, they see if something is wrong, it's wrong, whether it's done by an Indian, by a white, by a colored. And in the agricultural space, I think we can set a good example. Now that we are in the agricultural space, we can do not combine our cultures, but do certain things that can show that we are united, that sparks. And whilst we are black people are working on our own issues and our own stuff, but in the agricultural space, there's some things that we can do just to show that there is a sense of togetherness, there is a sense of willingness. But the fact that you were willing to do this, and you know that this is run by a black guy, and you were like, there's a guy, we played it, you know what I'm saying? It shows things like of this nature. There should be more things like this. Whether we just brine, we have a drink and we get drunk and we chase girls and it ends there. But a lot of these youngins are seeing that black and white can actually be together and there's no conflict and all of them are doing their own thing. That is a place where we should be, and agriculture is a good place that I believe
That's a
where we
form
can do.
of
Do we still have time?
with something in common, so that's great.
So I think that would be dope if we could do that. So I hope I answered your question in terms of what do I think in just taking land. That I don't support it. Everyone should work for his or her. But it's also ignorant, like I said, to sweep things under the table and pretend that never happened.
No, everyone has their part. But like what I just said, I feel that the black people shot themselves in the foot for this long period, and now it's a ticking time bomb that should have been fixed back.
Or that should have been building up.
Yes. That there shouldn't be now tension.
And our mindset and the black people's mindset should be at a place where let's do shit ourselves and stop begging and demanding and toy because we'll organize for your toy today and burn shit down.
I actually got a funny story about that with the 80%. I can't remember. I think his name was Superman. He was like, go get tires. I was like, tires?
Tires for what?
You're gonna burn it now. We were so gullible. Yeah, just go to that tire place, I'll give it to you. It's like, okay, guys, come. Let's go get tires. When we went out, I was just like, no, don't do that.
That's not burn stuff. So, but yeah, man, all of us.
For this beef.
Thank you again for unless there's something that you still want to add or. Thank you again for making this possible. I think it was a great conversation. Like, people will really appreciate the type of things, and there's no hard feelings. Me and you can still call each other and have a beer or whatever. There's no hard feelings. Thank you very much.
I wouldn't be here if I was upset.
Yeah. And me and you actually have had a shitload of debates.
I think it was, you had a point of view and I respected it and I had my point of view.
And that is why I respected you, that like Van has an opinion. There's some people that are just Afrikaans, I know you guys call them draadsitters. It's people who just don't have an opinion. It's just here in the middle ground, and you can't build something constructive with someone who doesn't have an opinion. If like a Van comes, he says yes, yes, yes. If I come, he says yes. So I like you because...
I think the big thing is, if a person, and the thing is, in the workplace as well, you can't get upset with someone over his opinion. Or he accepts it, or he learns.
Challenge the opinion. Don't challenge the person. It's not a personal thing. Challenge the opinion. Let me hear what you're saying. And if you're saying
exactly
nonsense...
Let me hear. Well, okay. That's your opinion. That's mine. I'm not going to.
And let it be that. Let's not make things unnecessary person. But anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, man, tomorrow to a brighter future. I hope whatever you're doing, you become a millionaire one day. Like you said, we all want money. We all want to be rich. We all want to drive Land Cruisers.
That feels good!